So here I'd like to give you a little tour of this most recent invention or conversion. Basically, I took a 12-string guitar, acoustic guitar, a frameless guitar made back in probably the 70s, early 70s, and it had some bowing up here, as all older 12 strings do. There was some a dip in the top here from the pressure of the strings over time. This is not an X brace instrument; it's ladder braced, which means the braces run side to side. And X braced is there's an X form below the sound hole with the braces, so there's a little bit more capacity for strength in that type of configuration. But anyway, the instrument was in really good shape except for that, and rather than try to do a neck reset or any of that, I decided to convert it into a Hindustani Indian classical slide guitar. So what I did is I elevated the strings with some rock maple here. We'll go ahead and start the tour. So made a bridge of rock maple and raised up the strings. And here I've also, as you can see, I've reconfigured the nut up here. It's actually one piece. And there's several different grooves here. I tried a myriad of different stringings, string gauges, different amount of strings. And after about a week of playing with it, I think I've finally come up with a reasonable setup right now. These are chikari strings, and they're raised up above the main playing strings. They're to be hit and used as a drone. And this little device here is what I call a chikari bridge, or it's specially designed so that the strings will buzz against it. It's a very common feature of Indian classical instruments, in that they have sympathetic strings and different strings that buzz. They don't have a clear sound. It gives it a nice drone effect. So I built a sympathetic array of tuners, attached this to the back of the guitar here, and then came up with my own style of chikari bridge. It's difficult to get the bridge to do what you want it to do. It's a very time-honored profession in India, very well respected. The people who adjust these bridges, highly sought-after craftsmen. What I came up with was it's basically kind of a parabola, and then you have the string that will as it's vibrating will hit this bridge and give off kind of a buzzing sound. So what I did is you can have better success if you have a longer bridge. Then your angle and everything can be more subtle. And then I just used a block here to bring the bridge up in contact with the string. So I kind of cheated a little bit, and of course it's not perfect, but I am getting some sympathetic response. And so these are all 10 gauge wire here. This is a combination of 10 and 9. And then over here I've got some strings that I harvested out of a Martin guitar set, and they're 80/20 bronze, so they're bronze coated, which is nice because most of there's a lot of copper used in the Indian instruments in their stringing. I did electrify it, and I'm glad I did. But since it was as a lap instrument, I went ahead and put the jack in the side here. You can see that. And I probably over-braced it, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to collapse the guitar under the weight of all the strings. And I'll probably add some more strings to it. I'm thinking about adding another couple of chikari strings off here on the treble side with another smaller sympathetic housing to hold them. But I reinforced the inside with some carbon fiber rod. You probably can't see that, but And I used a couple of pieces of poplar on either side of the neck block here that I glued in, and on the tail block. And then down here I need to finish staining that, but that's where I drilled big holes to align the end blocks. And I used a carbon fiber rod here to hold the sympathetic strings over a bobinga, kind of an end piece there. I used the original tail piece, which worked out wonderfully. And this is a piece of rock maple that I used to cover up my handiwork down there. It's an older instrument. I actually think the top is pine, which the instruments that are made today they use pine and mahogany, and I believe the body is mahogany. I'll turn it over here. Let you see You can see how I mounted the tuner array. I made a separate block here, and then I reinforced the neck with a long piece of plywood that I cut to fit the back of the profile of the neck. And I lined either side of that with mahogany so it would be a little bit more decorative. Those brackets are made out of granadillo, and the tuner array housing here is made of mahogany. I inlaid some ebony dots as far as some position markers along it, and I also inlaid, actually used some aluminum rod that I cut. Here's a piece of aluminum rod. I just cut several little discs, and I believe this is a rosewood fingerboard, and I went ahead and inlaid the rosewood with the dots for some position markers. So kind of cool. Sympathetic response that I'm getting. Kind of cool. Email if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.